So the Tennessee Titans have the #1 pick in the 2025 draft, and nobody knows what the fuck they're going to do.
Especially with Will Levis, right? I mean, is he their guy, or are they going to look for a new quarterback?
Yeah, and the rumor mill's going crazy. People are saying they should go for Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. What do you think about all the hype around these two?
Well, Jordan Reed over at ESPN seems to think Cam Ward's the guy to pick. He's got a hell of an arm, and he's not afraid to take some risks. Reed really likes that Ward can make those deep throws and get out of the pocket when he needs to.
Yeah, and Ward's stats from Miami were pretty impressive. Over 4,300 passing yards, 39 touchdowns, and only 7 interceptions. I think those numbers make him the obvious choice for the Titans.
Well, it's easy to look at those numbers and think he's the next big thing. But college and the NFL are two totally different worlds. The speed, the pressure, the defenses, it's just more intense.
Right. Shedeur Sanders also had a damn good season at Colorado. Over 4,100 passing yards, 37 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. How does he compare to Ward?
Mel Kiper's a big fan of Sanders. He calls him a classic quarterback with some seriously precise passing. And get this, Kiper actually ranks him higher than Ward.
Wow, I bet that surprises some people. But not everyone's buying into the hype around Sanders. Tom Pelissero said some NFL people are skeptical of him as a first-round pick. They think it's more about his name than his actual skill. Think there's any truth to that?
Well, you can't deny that his dad is Deion Sanders. And that kind of legacy puts a lot of pressure on a guy. But the kid's got talent, that's for sure. The question is, can he make his own name and prove he's not just riding on his dad's coattails?
Yeah. Pelissero even said Travis Hunter, Sanders' teammate at Colorado, might be the first one drafted, maybe even before Sanders. That's pretty bold a prediction.
It is. Hunter's a total freak athlete. He could be one of those once-in-a-generation players. If he lives up to all the hype, he could change the game for any team that drafts him. But that raises a big question for the Titans.
Right. Should they even be thinking about a quarterback? Maybe they should focus on other needs, like getting a guy like Hunter to boost their defense.
It's a tough decision. They need a good quarterback, but Hunter could really make a difference on their defense. It all comes down to what the Titans think is most important right now. Are they willing to take a chance on a high-risk, high-reward player like Hunter?
Yeah, that is a tough one. And when you look at the Titans' history with #1 picks, well, it's not exactly a success story. Their last #1 pick was way back in 1978. I think that might affect their decision this time.
Absolutely. The pressure is on for them to get this pick right. They can't afford another bust, especially with all the questions about their quarterback situation. This is a make-or-break decision for the franchise.
So with all that in mind, what do you think the Titans are most likely to do? Play it safe and go for a quarterback? Or shake things up and take a gamble on a potential superstar like Hunter?
I think the Titans have a golden opportunity to do something bold. They could trade the #1 pick to a team that's desperate for a quarterback and get a ton of draft picks in return. It's risky, but it could pay off big time if they play their cards right. Think they'll be ballsy enough to go for it?
It's hard to say. This front office has a history of playing it safe, but maybe they'll surprise us. This draft is shaping up to be a wild ride.
No doubt about it. There are so many unknowns. The quarterback situation, potential trades, and a wild card like Hunter. Get ready, because this is going to be crazy. You think any team would actually trade up to the #1 spot?
The Cardinals might. They've got Kyler Murray, but something's just not working there. Maybe they're thinking a new quarterback would fix everything.
And don't forget about the Bears. They've been a dumpster fire for years. They're desperate for a quarterback to build the team around. Imagine if they traded everything to get Ward or Sanders.
Their fans would either be celebrating already or burning the whole damn place down. There wouldn't be any middle ground. What about the other quarterbacks? Any hidden gems in this draft class?
There are always a few guys who end up exceeding expectations. It's all about finding the right team and system to help them develop.
Anyone specific catch your eye?
Jake Daniels from LSU's got potential. Kid's got a rocket for an arm and can make plays on the run. Kind of reminds me of Michael Vick when he was younger, though hopefully with a better ending to his story.
Yeah, Vic had all the talent in the world but couldn't stay out of trouble. Talent can only take you so far. These young guys need the right mindset and the right people around them to make it in the NFL.
It's a pressure cooker, and it's easy to get lost in the hype. They need discipline, dedication, and a good support system to avoid all the shit that comes with fame and money.
Speaking of potential stars, what about the wide receivers this year? Any future Hall of Famers in that bunch?
Marvin Harrison Jr. from USC? Yeah, that Harrison. His dad's a legend.
Talk about pressure. Think the kid can handle it.
From what I've seen, he's the real deal. Great hands, runs clean routes, and has a knack for making big plays when it matters.
Imagine him with a top quarterback like Ward or Sanders. They'd be unstoppable. They'd be putting up crazy numbers.
Speaking of crazy numbers, who do you think will be on the cover of Madden this year? That's like the ultimate sign that you've made it.
Yeah, until the Madden curse kicks in. Remember Peyton Hillis? One minute he's on the cover, the next he's dealing with injuries, and nobody remembers him. It's like a freaking curse.
Maybe they should just put a kicker on the cover. Those guys never get hurt unless they miss that game-winning field goal. Then they need security to protect them from the fans.
Being a kicker is a tough job. No glory, all pressure. But back to the Titans. Who are their biggest rivals in the AFC South?
The Colts, for sure. They've had some brutal games over the years.
And don't forget about the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
They're always waiting to make their move. The AFC South is a bloodbath every week.
Yeah, anyone can win in that division. Speaking of intense matchups, you think Mike Vrabel will ever challenge Bill Belichick to a fight? Now that would be a pay-per-view event I'd pay to see.
Two old school coaches going at it. Belichick would probably cheat somehow. He'd bring a taser or something.
And Vrabel would just bite his ear off, Tyson style.
Jesus, that's a disturbing image. All right, before we move on, any final thoughts on the draft?
It's going to be a wild ride. Get ready and enjoy the show.
Yeah, and don't forget to bet on it. It's draft season, baby.
You think we'll see any of these rookies pulling a Bosa and holding out for more money? It's like every other player tries that shit now. These kids know they've got leverage and they're not afraid to use it.
Yeah, it's a power move for sure. Look at Joey Bosa back in 2021. Held out all preseason with the Chargers and ended up getting a fat contract. Set the standard for all the young guys coming in.
It's a business, that's for sure. They got to look out for themselves. What do you think about the agents in all this? They're like vultures swooping in and promising these kids the world.
Some agents are good. Some are just scumbags. It's a brutal business, and these young players need someone they can trust to guide them through it all.
Yeah, it takes balls and brains to survive in that world. I think any of these agents will end up getting caught doing some shady shit.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. There's always some scandal brewing in the NFL. The NFL where dreams come true and morals disappear.
Speaking of dreams, what do you think it's like for these rookies when they finally hear their name called on draft night? All those years of busting their ass, all for that one moment?
It's got to be surreal. A mix of excitement, relief, and pure adrenaline. Their whole life changes in a second, and then the pressure kicks in to prove they're worth it. It's a lot to deal with.
The NFL chews up and spits out a lot of young players. It's as much a mental game as it is physical. You got to be able to handle the good and the bad, the criticism, the haters, and the constant risk of getting hurt.
Yeah, one bad hit and your career's over. It's a risky business, but the payoff can be huge. Fame, fortune, a chance to be remembered forever.
Not to mention the endorsements, the shoe deals, all the perks that come with being young, rich, and famous.
Must be nice. Back in my day, all we got was a pizza coupon and a slap on the back. Things have changed. Any predictions before we wrap this up?
The Titans are going to fuck it up. They'll overthink it, draft the wrong guy, and end up right back at the bottom of the division.
Damn, you're optimistic. I think they're going to shock everyone. They'll make a big move, trade up for a game changer, and become a real contender. This draft is going to be full of surprises.
It always is. That's what makes it so damn fun. All right, everyone, that's all we've got time for today. We'll be back next week as we get closer to the draft and break down all the latest rumors and mock drafts. This draft is going to be a wild ride, and we'll be here every step of the way.
And remember, don't bet your house on the Titans.
Unless you're feeling lucky.